So this is number 14. Let's stop before I read the rest of the problem. If my Lynn gave them a $50 bill and a $5 bill, how much did she give it? $55. All right, so we know that. And she got, what was it, $2.40 and change? Is that right? How about your calculators, so you can help me? What's $55 minus $2.40? $52.60. So whatever she bought, I don't know what they're asking us or anything, but whatever she bought, this was her total cost. $52.60. If the sales tax rate in her community was 5.25%, what was the item's total selling price? So remember, for this, to find the total selling price, total cost, I'm going to sort of write it backwards this time, sorry, I just started writing it. So total cost, ignore that, equals the price of the item, it's supposed to be not a plus sign, the price of the item plus the tax. And to find the tax, it's rate times price. We know the total cost was $52.60, so I'm going to write that in right here. Do we know the price of the item? Whatever she bought? No, so we're going to make that maybe like P or something, just for price. Plus, do we know the rate, the sales tax rate? 5.25. What do you do to, again, please be careful. A lot of you still making this mistake. If it's 5.25%, what do you do every single time? Bump it over twice, every time. What if it's 10.25%? You move it over twice. Are you always going to add a zero? Some of the times, not all the times, all right? So you got to just bump it over twice and know that. So it's 0.0525 times P, which is the price of the item. Thinking back to your algebra days, what's the number that's in front of this P right here?
1.
What's 1 plus that decimal right there?
10525.
And that's still times P. What are we going to do to solve for P? Divide both sides by that number, that 1.0525. Somebody do that for us. $49.98. What's $49.98? That was the price of the item. Whatever item she bought, that was the price. Now I gotta go back and read again because I can't remember. What was the item's total selling price? So we got it. I didn't know if they asked us for the tax or if they asked us for the price. How could we figure out how much tax she paid?
52.60 and then subtract 49.
Take this number, subtract off this number, and that would tell us how much tax she paid. About how much tax did she pay?
$3.
About $3. It's actually not too hard to figure. If you just, $49.98 is really close to what number? 50. It's off by 2 pennies, right? Well, 260 over 50 over here, so 260, you went the wrong direction. 262. Then how much tax? Other questions?
10.
Number 10. Again, on this quiz that we're getting ready to take, watch closely on this one. This one's probably a little closer to what might be on the quiz. Norma Engel buys an inflatable canoe for $194 or $194.94. 2 paddles for $44.95. Now you gotta be careful with 2 paddles. Does that mean we take 2 times $44.95? Hopefully they're selling paddles as 2s, right? Because they should come in pairs. Be like shoes or something else. You don't.
Most of the time they
Right, they come in pairs, not in singles. And 9 energy bars at 89 cents each. So, does that mean all 9 energy bars were 89 cents?
do. Yeah. So I said,
Means that how much they were a piece, right? So we gotta find their total. So to find the total cost here, 194.94, ignore that. Plus, somebody help me out so I don't have to keep looking back. How much were the oars?
$44.95.
$44.95. Plus, now we gotta be careful on this last part. How are we gonna figure out the total cost of the energy bars? Alright, so we're gonna have to use a parenthesis. How many did she buy, or he buy, or whoever it was? 9 times what? 0.89. Type all that into your calculator just that way. Should be able to get it. What's that give us?
247
247 what?
and 90 cents.
Please remember, if it's 90 cents, do we need that 0?
Yeah.
Yes. Alright, so this is the price. They didn't ask us to find the price, I don't think.
They asked us for the total purchase price.
Total purchase, so are we finished?
No.
No. Now we gotta find the tax. We can find the tax by, what percentage did they say?
5.5.
5.5, so how are we gonna change 5.5 to a decimal? So 0.055 times this answer right here, 247.90. And I'll tell you right now, on the quiz, one of the questions on the quiz, this is what they're asking you for, is the tax. Then the other one's asking you for what this one's asking you for, which is the total selling price. What's our tax this time?
$13.63.
Anybody else get that? Yes, no, maybe? $13.63. Does that make sense that you're gonna pay $13 in tax if you're buying about $250 worth of stuff? Give me a number that wouldn't make sense.
$300.
All right, 110, something like that. If you get up over half of what you're buying, then that means you're paying 50% in tax. That makes no sense whatsoever. Sorry, I can't see you guys with these glasses on. Hurts my eyes. So make sure that your answer makes sense. Again, on the quiz, I think the first problem, that's all they want, is just that answer. The second problem on the quiz, they don't want just that answer, they want the total cost. How do we find the total cost?
Add tax and the price together.
So add the tax, $13.63 plus the price, $247.90. What's that give us? $261 what? 53. That's the answer they wanted. So make sure you read the problems carefully. Know if they're just asking you for the tax, if they're asking you for the entire cost. So this person walked up there and they had 10 $20 bills and a $50 bill. Did they have enough to pay their bill? 10 $20 bills and a $50 bill. How much money did they have? $250. Alright, it had to look for Tage back in the line behind him and say, Tage, can I borrow 20?
I'd say no, just do it harder.
Not if you're waiting for them in.
Oh, I have plenty of time.
Other questions? We'll be able to do that. Won't be able to do that much more.
6.
You're getting about that age, Elijah, where there ain't no more. Oh, Tage. Is that who you're talking about, Tage?
I slept 12 hours last night, this Ebersole.
I don't know. Tage's
12
folks just gonna let him do
12
that.
hours.
Will they let him just come home and take a nap? And number 6, so that I don't have to write this up here. How do we find the total tax rate? What do you do with the two taxes, the city tax and the state tax? Add them together. What's that come out to be? 7.5%, 7.50%. Then to find the sales tax, we take, instead of 7.5, what are you going to change that to?
0.0575.
And we're going to times that by, I think it's like 1999 or something. And that's a sale, and 2 more nines.
Yeah.
Do that on your calculator. What's 0.075? Before you do it, stop. 7.5, that's about Ohio's sales tax. So if you're out buying something that's about $2,000, about how much tax would you expect that you're going to pay on it?
Less than 10%.
Less than 10%, that's true.
200.
Think of it this way. 7.5, that means out of every $100, you pay $7.50 in tax. Out of every $1,000, just add a 0 to that. Instead of $7.50, you pay how much? $75. So if you're spending $2,000, the first 1,000 is $75. The second 1,000 is going to be another 75. What's 75 and 75? 150. So we should be really close to 150.
It rounds out to be
Yeah,
150.
I was gonna say, I think it rounds out to 50.
So it comes out to be almost 150 exactly. That's your tax. What do you do with that number to find the final cost?
Add it to the 199.
So add this to this.
2,150.
It's almost 2,150.
2,100.
It's a penny short of that, isn't it? So those are the numbers that go in the blanks. I won't do it very often, but you can use your phones as a calculator if you don't have one. Start getting a calculator. Take one, pass them back. Elijah's passing these quizzes around. When you get yours, go ahead and start it. Shouldn't take you more than about 5 or 6 minutes. When you get finished, put it in the tray up front there. Do we need to go over the quiz, or should we just skip over it?
Skip over it.
All right, today, what we're going to cover today, unit prices. Unit prices. Anybody know what a unit price is? So when you go to a gas station and you pay $2.99, what are you actually paying for? First, let's talk about that.
Convenience.
No, when it's $2.99, what are you paying? You're paying $2.99 for what? For a gallon of gas? All right? Is it really a gallon of gas? And they don't do this anymore. They used to. It used to say this. When you look at the big signs that they'd have, it'd say, and some of them still do, it'd say $2.99 and have a little 9 at the top of it. Does anybody know what that stands for? You're not paying $2.99 for a gallon of gas. you're paying $2.99 for 9/10 of a gallon. All right. So next time you're pumping your gas, look at the thing and see what it says, see what the price is, and stop it right at that price. And you won't have a gallon, you'll have 9/10. It'll be like 0.9 something, something, something in the second little window.
I'm going to the gas station, like, hey, how much is it for a gallon of gas? And they tell me like 309, well, we're getting $3.09.
So that's a unit price, $2.99 per. Everybody says per gallon, but it's not really a gallon, all right? For 9/10 of a gallon, but that's what a unit price is. With the unit price, this part really bothers me because all they're doing is telling Bo over there that, hey, Bo, you're an idiot and you can't do none of this stuff yourself. If you go into Kroger, you go into Walmart, wherever, they have a little sticker on everything that gives the price, right? And right underneath that, what's it say? Anybody ever look at it? It gives the unit price. Because they figure, hey, Bo, you're not smart enough. Many, many years ago, about 20 years ago or so, federal government told all the grocery stores and department stores and everything else, you have to tell Tage the unit price because he's not smart enough to figure it up himself. So he doesn't know if you're ripping him off or not. You have to tell him the unit price. And that's ridiculous. That just bothers me to no end that they treat everybody like, hey, we're so much smarter than you. And it's the dumbing down of America is what, and I'm sure you've probably heard that. That's what it is. Instead of letting you try to figure it out and use your brain a little bit, they tell you, hey, this is the unit price, which is ridiculous. They shouldn't have to tell you that. One of the real bad things that I learned when I was back before they had all the unit prices on everything, and my wife still asks me, which one of these is the better buy? Because she can't see the little unit price anymore because she's getting old. She probably shouldn't have recorded that. But, so she asked me, which one of these is the better buy? One of the things that they did a long, long time ago that I noticed when I first got married and everything and first started buying all this stuff, laundry detergent. If you buy like a little jug, a little 16-ounce jug of laundry detergent, the price might be something like $5.49 or something. I'm just making up numbers here. But then you go and you buy this big family size 5-gallon thing of laundry detergent, and everybody thinks which one's going to be the better buy?
5 gallons.
The 5-gallon. And with laundry detergent, it wasn't. But since they knew, the people who make this laundry detergent knew that everybody who walked into that store thought that, hey, the more I buy, the better the price is going to be, and I need it anyway. All right? So I could buy like 15 of these, or however many it takes of these to make this up, and save like $10. Now the bad thing is, if you buy a whole bunch of these, you got to have a place to store them all and stuff. So, but now that's changed a little bit. It's different now since the federal government made them put that little sticker on there and tell the unit price. All right?
So like, I noticed last night that for a half gallon of milk, it's like, I went to get a gallon, it was $4.99. And that's for the half gallon. For the gallon, it was only like 30 cents.
Yeah. So it's the unit price, if you look at that, and a lot of times, like right now in our refrigerator, I probably told you guys this, we drink a whole bunch of milk all the time. We probably drink 20 gallons of milk a week in my house. In our refrigerator right now, we have a bunch of half gallons. Because sometimes you go to Kroger and they got a whole lot of half gallons, not a whole lot of gallons, so they put the half gallons on sale. And like you're saying, it $3.99 for a gallon, and then the half gallon is like a $1.29 or something. Well, you can buy 2 of these for a lot less than that, so we end up buying the half gallons, and we look, like idiots because we got 15 half gallons of milk in our cart instead of, just 7 or 8 gallons of milk. Everybody's looking at you like, why are you buying half gallons? But it ends up being cheap.
It's probably another concern to file, like, why do you need so much milk?
Yeah, that's probably true. But that's, in my house, and my wife gets on me all the time because I drink milk, and she says old people aren't supposed to drink milk, it's supposed to be bad for you.
Humans aren't supposed to drink milk, period.
Yeah, that's probably true.
What?
Actually, we're the only animals that continue drinking milk. Other animals have moved on and don't drink it anymore.
Don't drink it.
Well, it's from another animal, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's crazy. When I was growing up, and me and my brother were talking about this yesterday, and I'd love to be able to do it now, instead of paying the prices like $3.99, $4.99 for a gallon of milk, we used to go to an actual dairy farmer, and he'd sell us the milk before he shipped it off to wherever to have it processed. So we would buy gallons of milk from him, and we'd go like once a week, and even when I was growing up, we'd buy like 10 gallons of milk off of him to keep in our refrigerator at my mom and dad's house. I'd love to be able to do that again because I'm sure it'd be cheaper than what we're paying right now. The only good thing about what we're paying right now is my son's got a good job and he makes more money than I do, so we make him pay for all the milk because he drinks about 2/3 of it. He drinks about 2/3, I drink about 1/3, then my other sons and my wife, every now and then. So a unit price, all you do to find a unit price, or what a unit price is for, is so that you can compare items. You can compare, is this a better buy or is this a better buy? Peanut butter, stuff like that. Everybody thinks, oh, if I buy the great big jar of peanut butter, it's always a better price. Not always the case. So it allows you to look at that. The other thing that you got to remember when you're looking at unit prices and comparing stuff, if you buy a jar of peanut butter and you buy the big jar and it's just you and you eat peanut butter once a week, is it going to be worth buying that big jar if that jar is going to sit there for the next year? No, because what's going to happen to it? It's going to go bad. What's one food that doesn't go bad? Anybody know that?
Honey.
Honey. Honey never goes bad. Now they tell you that, but I got honey that's been sitting in my pantry for a year or two, and we eat it quite often, but it's been sitting in there for a while. I think it got pushed to the back and we bought more and nobody noticed it was in there. And guess what does happen to it?
It eventually goes like hard.
It gets hard. So
But it's not bad.
It's not bad. You can still eat it, but it's hard, so it won't come out of the container. You got to cut the container to get it open, and
Isn't there a way to soften it back?
there probably is.
You might put it in like hot water.
Yeah.
Would that soften it back up?
I think
don't
so.
know.
Maybe.
Like if you boil the container in a little pot of water, it should.
But if you do that, because I know with other things, if you do that, does it separate things? Because when you start heating up stuff like that, a lot of times
I
it'll
don't think it
separate,
will.
and they'll be like,
I don't think it
Maybe
will
if
because
it's
they.
like not all natural honey.
Yeah,
Like
that's
if it
what I
has
was gonna say.
additional sugars,
It might separate the
some
sugars.
out.
But
If it's real honey, it might not.
Sure.
I know they use heat to separate the honey and the honeycomb.
Do they?
They heat it up and then spin it rapidly.
all right, to find the unit price. Find the unit price, you take the price of the item, divided by the measure of the count. Measure of count, this just means how much, how many ounces, how many pounds, how many gallons, how many, whatever it happens to be.
Okay, I know what unit price is now. It's like when you go to the store and it's like, oh, $32 for this package of meat, and then it says like $17
Per pound.
Okay, alright.
So, again, when you're in a store, it'll, you know, you'll have a sticker there, and it'll look something like this, and it'll say, okay, you're buying, I don't know, box of honeycombs. I don't know why, just because I guess that's what we're talking about. So you're buying a box of cereal that's honeycombs. All right? Does everybody know what honeycomb cereal is? Kylie's looking at me like, what are those? So that's a kind of cereal, and it'll give you the price. $5.99. Then down here, some of them will say unit price, and some of them will just say something like this. 23.9 cents per ounce. That's the unit price. And they found that by taking this price and dividing it by how many ounces are in that box. That's all you do. So you take the price of the item, divided by how many of whatever it is you're buying. If it's meat, like Adam was saying, and you're buying a whole bunch of pork chops or something, then on the tag on the pork chops, it'll say $17.99. And then underneath that, it'll say $1.62 per pound. That's the unit price, that $1.62. When you're doing comparison shopping, when you're doing comparison shopping, and this is what we're going to do here in a minute, that paper that you picked up, that's what I'm going to have you do. You're comparing prices to find the best value. That's all comparison shopping is. Nothing hard about it. You're just looking at the two things and saying, okay, which one of these is actually the best buy for me? And sometimes it's sort of hard to do comparison shopping. One of the things that we buy a lot of, those cereal bars, like the granola bars and those kind of things, and they sell them in different size boxes. Like this one might have 10 in the box, and then you get another box that's got 18 in the box. And it makes it hard, and they do this on purpose, makes it hard for you to decide which one is the better deal. If they put 20 in the box, in that bigger box, it'd make it a whole lot easier because one's double the size of the other, so the price should be double. Or if the price is less than double, then it's a better buy. If it's more than double, then it's not a better buy. But they do it this way, and it makes it hard on you to decide which one is the better buy. And that's the kind of thing that my wife always asks me, okay, hey, this one's got 10 in it, this one's got 25 in it. Which one should we buy? This one's $5, this one's...
You just take say the one box is like, the smaller box is $5 and the other one's like,
13.
yeah.
And all you would do to figure it out is do this. Divide this by 10,
And that way.
and divide this by 18, and that gives you the unit price of each. And usually if she's asking me, and it's on the weekend, so at night, past 2:30, so I don't feel like doing math, I will do what's easy. Like this one right here is 50 cents per bar, so that's easy. And then I look at this one and I ask myself, just divide it in my head, and I say, okay, 18 won't go into 13, 18 will go into 130, about 180 would be 10, so it'll go in there about 6 times maybe. And then I just sort of round it off and I say, well, this one over here is going to be a better buy because this one's 50 cents, that one's 60 cents per bar. And if you grab your calculator, I don't know, see how close I am there. What's $13 divided by 18?
0.72.
0.72. So it's actually a little more than that, but so it's about 72 cents per bar. So that's comparison shopping. And that's what we're going to do on this next thing that we're going to do. That sheet that you picked up, get your computers out. We got about 30 minutes. This is probably gonna take most of the rest of the time. About 30 minutes. What I want you to do, you're gonna find 2 items that are the same, but different sizes. I gave you an example of Doritos on there. Found a small bag of Doritos and a big bag of Doritos. Found the unit price for each one, and then compared them. Which one's the better buy? There's some questions on the back also, so answer those 4 or 5 questions. First question, what is the price of each? Second question, how much does each contain? So how many ounces, pounds, whatever's in each one. Third one, what's the unit price of each one? Explain which one's the best buy. And then the last thing here is tell, even though this one's the better buy, why might you buy the other one instead? Everybody think they can handle that?
Yep.
When you go to print these off, it says print off the ads. Just print them to the library, and I'll send you down there to get it. Please make sure when you're printing, take it off the website, put it on another sheet, and then print it. I think last year when we did this, I had somebody hitting print just on the website. We couldn't print anymore because it was printing like 1,000 pages to the thing, because it was printing everything that was on that website. So copy it, paste it on just a Word document, then print it.
Doesn't matter what.
I'll put this back on this slide here in just a second. I'm going to put this up here. This is the assignment. I'm going to write it up on top of the board here so that you can have it when you're done. If you get done quick enough, we're going to try to do number 11 together on that second page.